Okay, who wants some Red Hot Rocker Lord action? Yeah, kinda. Legacy, core, whatever, blah blah blah. Bouldercrash. I liked the look of this guy since the first time I saw him, but I wasn't going to pay like 12 quid for him. I'm sorry, 12, 13 quid. No, I'm not doing it. But I've got him here, and he's a little weirdo. Should be motorbike, but he's actually a trike. Because, sure, why not? And he's this weird sort of pottery grey, which it's not terracotta, it's darker than that. It's really earthy brown with red highlights and cracks. Like, is this molten magma? I don't know. Do you like my really terrible Dr. Evil impression? But he's there and he rolls quite nicely, you know, he's cool. Sometimes these are attached to this piece. This is a hip piece. Because everything's irregular shapes, sometimes you can adjust that slightly and one wheel will be higher than the other and things like that. So just need to be a bit pedantic about that to try and get it lined up. But he rolls alright, he's fine. And he has this little battle mode where you can get this big piece here and flip it all the way over the top and lock it into place. And he can drive into things. I mean, I found a headcanon way around it and I'll get to it, but sure, why not? Flip this back. Size comparison. Stereo Series 86 Blur. So, why is that like that? Weird. So, he's core class, isn't he? You know? What do you want me to do? Now, before we get into robot mode, there's a weapon mode. Yeah. Do you want to see the weapon mode? Well, guess what? You've already seen it. Because what you do is you go... And that's weapon mode. And I think, what are you talking about? That's not weapon mode. Well, actually, no. If you look at the back here, there's this little peg. So what you do is you get a figure like this, and you get this peg, and you plug it into the hand. And you can have it that way. Try and stab someone like that, or you can turn it that way, and then you hit them with the flat end of the sword. And it's absolutely ludicrous, and I can't believe he's holding that. Hats off to Speedy Blur. I didn't think he'd hold that. I thought he was going to fall straight on his face. Even the elbow, look at that. But that's apparently a weapon, look. Hacha, hacha, hacha. That's absolutely terrible and they should be ashamed of themselves. But I digress. Should we transform it? I guess we probably should. So, when you get to it, and unfortunately there is parts forming. It is what it is. I'm sorry. We're going to get this and we're going to wriggle it and it comes loose. There are these little tabs here on each side that go into little slots there and there. And there are these slots here that go into these flat tabs here. See those? So I'll take that and put it there for now. We're going to get this front piece and rotate the entire thing around. Just like that. We'll get these and unpeg them, because if you haven't guessed, these are the legs. Or you haven't seen any pictures of this guy, but whatever. Unpeg. Come on. Again, depending if you get the hips straight, some will have more pressure, so they'll be tighter. So we'll get that there. And now we have to sort of fight with this and kind of rotate this around with this in the way. Kind of get around it. And considering this is only here to support that vehicle, that weapon mode, and because of that they've then made it integral to the... This is bad design, but whatever. So again, we'll get it straight. We will get here and we will untab, rotate them out the big hinges. There are these little slots here that go into these there. So rotate that until it locks in. Rotate that until it locks in. Okay. Get this big wheel, bring it all the way down and into place. Come here and then rotate, bring down this panel down for dramatic head reveal, and come on, this thing's stiff, honestly. there he is, and this is Bouldercrash in his raw mode. And again, if you didn't see it before, go on camera, that's his face. And you know what? I really like this design. He looks really cool. You know, he's got this like wheel, really cool sort of G2 Predator, Spark Stalker or something like that. The one with the big missile on him. He's got that kind of face to him. You know, nice little weird coppery bronze. If that's not a very similar colour, but whatever. Yeah, the two-tone browny, orangey, not orange, but you know, I mean the weird two-tone brown, little red highlights. He works for me. He does. He really does. And then you get his weapon, which you can't really do that with because you can't do anything with it, so you have to just leave this out. And then there's a peg there that can go into his hand. And then he's got this big stabby, swingy, hacha. It works better on him than it does the vehicle mode, but, you know, it's still a thing. But what you can also do with it is, if you take it off, see this giant tab here that just sort of sits between the arms in raw vehicle mode? You can actually, with these slots, look. Weapon storage. It's not ideal, but it's weapon storage. See, now, I don't like these as rock lords. That's my personal preference. I don't like these as rock lords. I've got him, I've got Magnus, don't like him as rock lords. What I see them as is very, very junky, like junk Transformers. You know, the ones that have run out of energon, they've been absolutely beaten to pieces, they're basically crawled out of a compactor. Like, they are absolutely ruined, which is why they're all bent and buckled and leaking energon and all this sort of... They're absolutely ruined. That's how I see him. And as that, he looks awesome. You know, like Megatron after he lost, well, kind of lost the fight with Prime. And he's all bent and buckled and stuff like that. That's how these look. And that's how I prefer to see them. That's why they don't have guns. They've all got close combat weapons, because they don't have the energon. That's my headcanon for it. Size comparison, their speed a blur. Come on. The one downside to this is it does make him slightly back heavy. But if you get him straightened out properly and on a decent surface, he does stand really well. But like I say, in my headcanon, they're kind of like worse than Junkions. They're that beaten up, and that's why they're mercenaries, because they need the energon. They need it to survive. You know? This guy will run at Metroplex with his little stabby thing for a couple of cubes of energon, because what's he got to lose? That's my headcanon. And in that sense, I absolutely love him. Do I like the weird purple repaint with the really round ball head? No, don't like the look of that. I'd have it just to say it's not as good as this one, but I don't like it. Okay, I've got to go because we've got a party for the little one's birthday, so delayed to this weekend, and we've got a few things to do. I've got to be the hostess with the mostess. And I've got to go. So, I should be ugly, I should be wretched, and I shall see all of you in the next one. Party on, dudes!